No one's good at everything. I mean, that's just not the way life works. What you know is very limited, and what you don't know is limitless.
The man who led us to 6 Super Bowls.
Those who stay will be champions.
War number 12, the greatest of all time, right here in Tom Brady.
If I want to be the best, I got to beat the best. Man, if I want to be good, I gotta wake up in the morning and I gotta do the extra work. And I gotta show up when other guys aren't. And I've gotta learn, I've gotta continue to be open to learning. But I had to take it to a new level that the other guys wouldn't. Nothing was given to me. So I'm gonna go out there and compete as hard as I can. And I'm gonna treat practice like a game. And I'm gonna gain the respect of my teammates every day through my work ethic. I'm gonna work hard in the weight room. I'm gonna work hard in the film room. I'm gonna work hard to be a good student. Whatever they ask me to do, that's what I'm gonna do, to the best of my ability. I never once in my life ever said I wanted to be the best of all time. I'm just a story like everybody else. I wanted to be the best I could be, period. And I said, be proud of the man in the glass. Be proud of that man that wakes up every day and does the best he can do with his priorities. So we're all talented at certain things, but we can really continue to improve our weaknesses if we're humble enough to identify them, and we can build on our strengths. Focus on what you can control. Focus on what you're getting, not what anyone else is getting. Whenever you get an opportunity, you take advantage of it. You treat it like it's the Super Bowl. You treat it like it's game day. Go out there and treat practice like no one else does. And you have an opportunity every day to surround yourself with people to help you grow. You know, I always said we play for the name on the front of our jersey was the Patriots or the Bucks, and I play for the name on the back of the jersey, which was my family and the people that encouraged me. I was so blessed to have this discipline over a really long period of time. It was a lot of tough competition. But I was never, I would say, like a prodigy. You know, I wasn't like the kid where you see Tiger Woods swinging on the Johnny Carson show at 2 or 3 years old, and you know his swing looks as good as it did at 3 years old as it did, you know, as he grew older. Or you know, certain players that had this unbelievable prodigy aspect to themselves. I saw myself as someone who probably had some other traits that maybe were hard to identify, but that were really sustainable over time, which was, I would say, work ethic and discipline. There was this discipline that I had that even as 13, 14, 15 years old, where all these other boys were, I went to an all-boy school in the Bay Area, and I remember showing up my first day as freshman year. I didn't have much, you know, hair under my arms or anything like that. I was like, and these other kids came in shaving, and I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't know how to put the pads on in my pants when I tried out for freshman football. I mean, I had never played until that point except in the street. So these kids came out there, they had, you know, helmets and shoulder pads that they had worn for 4 years. I went on the field and I was like, I'm gonna get killed out here, you know? And my freshman year, I didn't even play. I was the backup quarterback on a team that went 0-8. I couldn't get on the field, and we never won a game anyway. I mean, it's one thing to be the starting quarterback and to lose. If they don't even think you're good enough to be a starting quarterback on a team that's 0-8, you must really suck. So naturally, I was like, oh, cool, I'll continue to, you know, work on my skill. A lot of it was even going into my second year in high school, there were workouts in the morning at 6 a.m. before school. And I was like, okay, I can get up at 6 a.m. and I can go do these rope drills where you'd run through the rope. You see a lot of people do that. There were these hills that we would run up. And there was probably less than 10 people there, but I was probably one of the 3 that were there almost every single day to try to continue to push myself to grow in these maybe physical areas that I was really behind a lot of the other people at. And I went in there, competed really hard my 3rd year, and I lost the starting job to Brian Greasy. So I go into my 4th year and I was like, now's my time. I worked hard to compete my first 3 years. Going into my 4th year, I got a great opportunity to play. And they recruited a kid named Drew Henson, And I was like, the competition's relentless. At first I was looking at the guys ahead of me. Now I got to be looking down at the guys behind me too. And going into my 4th year, my teammates named me team captain, and I won the starting job. We had a good year. We finished 10-3, beat everyone out. And then I showed up and Coach Carr says, well, you're gonna compete with Drew Henson to be the starter going into your 5th year. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. You want me to compete? That's what we're gonna do. I competed really hard again in my 5th year. Took it to a new level. Thought about my conditioning, my strength. Thought about how I was doing making my decisions off the field. I was starting to play really good. And I thought, I'm gonna have a chance. Coach Carr called me in and he said, well, Tom, this is what we're gonna do. You're gonna start. Drew, you're gonna play the 2nd quarter. And I'm gonna decide at halftime who plays the rest of the year. Coach Carr said, the platoon's off, Tom's playing the rest of the year. We didn't lose a game the rest of the season. It was a tough battle for me. It was a tough go. It was tough in high school. It was really tough in college. So of course now I'm going to the NFL draft. And I'm like, all these pro coaches must have seen how good I was. Man, I'm gonna be a 2nd round pick. Round 1, 2, and here we go. 6th round, pick 199. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna make all those other teams pay. Like I said, I wasn't the prodigy. I learned about work ethic. I learned about resilience. I learned about gaining the trust and the respect of my teammates and coaches to name me captain. I learned about how to dig deep within myself, a long way from home without a ton of support. I was so motivated to be the best I could be that I wasn't motivated to be the starter. I wasn't motivated to win the Super Bowl. I just was motivated to give my best, do the best with the opportunity I got, and to never let my teammates down. All those experiences that we think are the hardest things in our life end up being the best experience in our life, because if you approach it with humility and you look inward, they become the best opportunities for growth and learning. But most people could say, man, I want to exercise for one day. Or I want to be more hydrated for one day. Well, can you do it for a week? Well, that's more discipline, right? Can you do it for a month? That's more discipline. Can you do it for a year? That's even more discipline. How disciplined are you to maintain that routine over a period of time? And I think that will determine your level of success. Fame didn't motivate me. I didn't give a about any of it. I always took less money because I wanted a good team around me. I didn't care about going to all these different places and doing those things. I just wanted to be my best. I wanted to go out there and the team believed in me. I didn't want to let them down. If I want to be the best, I got to beat the best.
For many of you, you're just not tired enough yet. You haven't hit rock bottom. You're not desperate enough. You're not hungry and thirsty enough for it. And this is why you can't show up in the world of consistency. We get deeply immersed in the whirlpool of another version of ourselves every single day. For me, it's deeper than get up at 2 a.m. and grind. Because I can get up, get dressed, get in my car, get to the gym, and sit on my phone. And so really the question we have to ask ourselves is, are we implementing the information that we know, what we've written down, what we're listening to, what we know to do? Are we doing it? Are we implementing? Many of you are too ambiguous with your future. Not only are we not aware of who we are, but we have no idea where we're going and why we're going there. Once we get identity, our why and our where, our mission, our purpose. I do this thing effortlessly. I do this thing at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. I can lose sleep. I can miss a meal. You can step out of my life and I'm just going to keep going. When it seems as though life has not only got me sliding down a wall, but it's knocked me flat on my back, all of a sudden, I've got a bounce back in me because I'm disciplined, I'm calculated, I'm principled, I'm aimed. I know who I am, and I know where I'm going. I don't know how many of you need to hear this, but this is the hour that you climb out of the depression. Walk out of this thing, run out of this thing, claw out of this thing, crawl out of this thing. But today, you come out. Be on your craft, execute, show up, forgive, love, build, create, believe, try again. The question isn't, are you consistent? The question is, can you implement? Can you execute? Can you do what is right? Can you handle the uphill war of significance? Anything worthwhile is uphill. It requires a rewiring, a redirection, and a 180. That's the rate of learning. It's not about how much you can write down. It's not just about the conferences and the coaching. It's, are you going to follow through? No more depression, no more anxiety. Bye blame game, bye anger. Somebody drop in the comments something you want to say goodbye to today. Bye to complaining, bye to arrogance, bye to pride, bye to comparisons, bye to negotiating myself out of my purpose and my destiny. Goodbye to divorcing my future and telling myself, I don't have what it takes. I can't do it. I'll start Monday. Everything that has disempowered you has to leave. We need accountability. We need constructive analysis. We need coaching and mentorship. We need friends that are not going to be afraid to tell us when we've gotten off kilter. We need to make the investments required to be planted in community to optimize our performance in everyday life. That we show up personally so we can show up professionally. That everything I do behind the scenes, in the dark room, in the places where nobody can see me, I've got character, I'm principled, I've got integrity. And as a result, I dominate in public. See, the question isn't, are you consistent, right? Because consistency is a system of stability and regularity and uniformity. And you can be consistently lazy. And you can consistently quit on the meal plan. And you can be consistently angry. And you can be consistently and habitually and religiously jealous and envious and going into relationships with an agenda that serves you and not the person. Seeing the relationship as a place to receive instead of give. You can consistently show up in this world the wrong person every single day with your costume and your mask on. Underneath all of the layers of the facade lies the real you. We all know that we can execute in the dimension of consistency. The question is, can you do what is required to fulfill your purpose? Can you do what it takes? Can you implement? Can you execute? Can you be tactical? Are you disciplined? Are you principled? Do you possess courage to walk in purpose and to fulfill your destiny? Have you trained your brain to do not what you feel like doing, but what is required of you in order to achieve an outcome? And so I don't care if you have to listen to me 1,000 times. Maybe you're just streaming the audio, but if you're watching me online, I just want you to drop in the comments, implementation. Implementation is the process of putting a decision or a plan in effect. This is execution. This is application. This is carrying out. This is the uphill war between what I feel like doing and what I know I have to do.